I sat in a federal bankruptcy courtroom, staring at the man I used to love. Ryan looked good. Tailored navy suit. Fresh haircut. That smile. Not a warm smile. The kind you wear when you think you've already won. His lawyer had just finished painting me as vindictive. Hiding assets. Fabricating documents. The trustee looked tired. She glanced at me. "Ms. Carter, do you have anything to present?" My lawyer stood. No theatrics. Just reached into her briefcase. Ryan's smirk didn't waver. He thought he knew what was coming. Or more importantly, what wasn't. He'd told the court we never had a prenup. That I made it up after the divorce to protect my money. Did he really think I'd burned the one document that could save me? I watched his face. Still smug. Still certain. My lawyer's hand came out of that briefcase holding a cream-colored folder. And for the first time in 2 years, I felt calm. Before we go further, drop your country and the time where you're watching. And hit that like button if you've ever kept receipts on someone who underestimated you, because this is about to get good. Let me take you back 8 years. Ryan was charming. Sales consultant. Great smile. He made me laugh after 12-hour days building financial models for startups. I had a finance background, small inheritance from my grandfather. Nothing huge, enough for a down payment and seed capital. We fell fast. 6 months later, we started talking marriage and business in the same breath. The company was my idea, niche software consulting. I brought the systems, the capital, the strategy. Ryan brought client relationships and charm. It worked. Before the wedding, my mom sat me down. "I love Ryan, but love and business need boundaries. Get a prenup." I pushed back at first. It felt unromantic, cold. She didn't blink. "Your grandfather worked 40 years for that money. Protect it." So I did. 23 pages. Separate property. Inheritance stays mine. Business interests split only if both names are on operating agreements. We sat in a lawyer's office on a Tuesday afternoon. Ryan read it. "Signed without a fuss. Makes sense," he said. "Let's keep things clean." The notary stamped it. 2 witnesses. Filed and done. The wedding was beautiful. The first 2 years were good. Then the company took off. We landed a 7-figure contract. That's when I noticed the shift. Ryan started talking about his success. His company. He bought a car we hadn't budgeted for. I pushed it down. Told myself it was just confidence. I didn't know then that confidence and entitlement wear the same face. But I kept records. Every invoice. Every bank statement. Every email. My mother taught me that too. 2 years ago, the marriage collapsed. No single explosion. Just a slow leak until there was nothing left. Ryan wanted the divorce. I didn't fight it. We went to mediation to split things. The business. The house. Retirement accounts. That's when he floated the idea. "Look," he said, leaning back in his chair. "The prenup feels, I don't know, cold. Like we were planning to fail." I stayed quiet. "We built this together. Let's just destroy it. Split everything 50-50. Good faith." He made it sound noble, cooperative, mature. Our mediator looked at me. I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. "I'll think about it." Ryan smiled. That warm one. The old one. I left that session uneasy. But the divorce moved forward. We settled on other terms. He got some cash. I kept the business. I thought it was over. 6 months later, a process server knocked on my door. Legal notice. Bankruptcy petition. Ryan had filed for personal bankruptcy. And I was listed. Not as a bystander, as a creditor. He claimed I owed him half the business value. Retroactively, $340,000. The reason? There was no prenuptial agreement. All marital assets should have been split equally. I read that line 3 times. He'd told the bankruptcy trustee we never had a prenup. How do you prove a document exists when your ex swears it never did? I hired a lawyer. Not a great one. Overworked. 300 billable hours behind. He told me it would be fine. Just bring the prenup to the hearing. I had a photocopy at home, in a drawer somewhere. The first hearing was in a windowless room with fluorescent lights and folding tables. Ryan wore that navy suit. His lawyer was sharp, polished. Mine shuffled papers. Ryan's attorney stood. Your Honor, this is a straightforward case. Ms. Carter is attempting to rewrite history. She claims a prenuptial agreement existed. We've searched. No such document was filed with the marriage license. No record with the county. The trustee looked at me. Ms. Carter, can you produce this prenup? My lawyer cleared his throat. Yes, Your Honor, we have a copy. A copy? Ryan's lawyer jumped in. Your Honor, we can't defend against a document that doesn't exist. Ms. Carter can't produce what was never signed. My lawyer fumbled. Said something about needing time. The trustee sighed. Gave me 30 days. Produce the original or a certified copy. Otherwise, this claim proceeds. The gavel came down. I walked out of that room feeling like I'd already lost. I knew I hadn't destroyed it. But I couldn't remember where I'd put the original. And a photocopy wasn't going to be enough. I tore my home office apart. File cabinets. Banker boxes. The back of the closet. Nothing. I called the lawyer who drafted it. Retired. No records older than 7 years. I sat on my office floor at 2 in the morning and tried to think. Where would I have put something that important? Then I remembered. The safety deposit box. We'd opened one during the startup. For stock certificates, articles of incorporation. I hadn't been there in 3 years. I drove to the credit union the next morning. Hands shaking. The manager led me to the vault. Pulled the box. Inside, a single manila envelope. I opened it. 23 pages. Both signatures, notary seal intact, dated 2 weeks before our wedding. I scanned every page in the credit union lobby, sent them to my phone, then to a new lawyer. A friend had recommended her. Sarah Chen, family law specialist. Reputation for being surgical. Her reply came back in under an hour. This is airtight. We can win. I let out a breath I'd been holding for weeks. But Sarah's next message stopped me cold. He'll claim it's invalid, duress, coercion, something. We need more than the prenup. We need proof he knew about it and accepted it after the wedding. Do you have anything like that? I didn't know yet. But I was about to find out. When Ryan's lawyer learned I'd hired new counsel, things escalated fast. He filed an emergency motion. Claimed the prenup was signed under duress, that my father had threatened to withhold wedding funding unless Ryan signed. It was a lie. My dad had been dead for 2 years when we got married. But Ryan's motion included an affidavit. From his brother. I was there. I heard her father threaten Ryan. He signed because he felt he had no choice. Dates were wrong. Names were wrong. But it was sworn testimony. Then it got worse. A local business blog picked up the story, framed it as software exec accused of coercing prenup. My phone started buzzing. Former clients, colleagues, asking if I was okay. My reputation took a hit. Then Sarah called. He's filed a petition to freeze your business bank accounts. Hearing is in 72 hours. On what grounds? That you're dissipating assets. Moving money to hide it. I had payroll due in 5 days. 12 employees counting on me. If the account froze, I couldn't pay them. Sarah's voice stayed calm. We're going to fight this, but I need you to trust me. And I need you to find anything, emails, texts, letters, where Ryan acknowledged the prenup after you were married. I hung up, opened my laptop, and started searching. Sarah didn't wait for me to search alone. She subpoenaed records from our old accountant, the CPA we'd used during the business ramp-up. 2 days later, she called me into her office. It was late. Printouts covered the table. Look at this. She slid a single email across the desk. From Ryan to our CPA, dated 18 months after our wedding. Subject line, tax strategy, separate property per prenup. I read it twice. In the body, Ryan explicitly referenced the prenup. Asked the accountant to structure our K-1 distributions to take advantage of the separate property language. He hadn't just known about the prenup. He'd used it. For his own benefit. Sarah leaned back. Duress claims don't survive when the alleged victim later affirms the contract in writing. For tax advantage. She CC'd the email to the trustee and Ryan's lawyer that night. One-line cover message. Exhibit B. I stared at the email on my screen. Ryan's own words. His own strategy. He didn't just remember the prenup. He weaponized it when it helped him. But that raised a bigger question. Why would he lie now, knowing this email existed? Sarah showed me the answer the next day, and it was worse than I thought. Sarah handed me a folder. Ryan's bankruptcy schedules. Required disclosures. I opened it. Schedule F. Unsecured creditors. 3 online sportsbooks. 2 casino credit lines. Total. $237,000 in gambling debt. I felt my stomach drop. He's been betting? For at least 2 years. Maybe longer. Sarah pulled out another document. A forensic accounting report. She'd hired a specialist to trace our old business account. Highlighted in red, irregular transfers. From the business operating account to Ryan's personal account. $89,000. Over the final year of our marriage. Not bonuses. Not approved distributions. Transfers I never signed off on. He was stealing, I said. Sarah nodded. To cover the gambling losses. And when the marriage ended, the well dried up. I understood then. The bankruptcy wasn't about fairness. It wasn't about splitting assets. It was about making me responsible for his debts. And replacing what he'd already stolen. Ryan didn't want half the business. He wanted me to pay for what he'd already taken. Sarah slid one more page across the table. We're not just defending anymore. We're counterclaiming. $89,000 plus interest and legal fees. I looked at the draft petition. Plaintiff, me. Now I knew exactly what to do. Sarah and I built the strategy over 3 days. 3 parts. 1. Present the original prenup. Notarized. Dated. Undeniable. 2. Introduce Ryan's email. The one where he acknowledged the prenup and used it for tax strategy. 18 months post-wedding. That killed his duress defense. 3. File a counterclaim for the $89,000 in stolen funds. Plus interest. Plus legal fees. Flip the script. Make him the debtor. Sarah had retained the forensic accountant as an expert witness. He'd testify if Ryan's lawyer pushed back. But she didn't think it would come to that. Once the trustee sees the email and the transfer log, this is over. We filed the counterclaim 2 days before the continued hearing. Ryan's lawyer would get it the morning of. No advance warning. No time to spin. The night before the hearing, I didn't rehearse. Didn't practice answers. Truth doesn't need rehearsal. I laid out my clothes. Made tea. Went to bed early. Sarah had said it once and I believed her. Let the receipts do the talking. The hearing was set for 9 a.m. Ryan had no idea what was coming. But I did. And for the first time in 2 years, I slept through the night. The courtroom looked the same. Same fluorescent hum. Same folding tables. Ryan walked in wearing the navy suit. Same confident stride. Same smirk. His lawyer carried a thin folder. They thought this was a formality. The trustee called the case. Ryan's attorney went first. Your Honor, Ms. Carter has produced a document she claims is a prenuptial agreement. We maintain it was procured under duress and is therefore void. Further, Ms. Carter has filed a baseless counterclaim in a transparent attempt to intimidate our client. The trustee looked unimpressed. Turned to Sarah. Counsel? Sarah stood. No notes in her hand. She walked to the trustee's desk, pulled the original prenup from a leather folder, laid it down gently. Your Honor, this is the original prenuptial agreement. Signed by both parties. Notarized. Dated 2 weeks before the wedding. I've also provided a certified copy for the record. The trustee picked it up. Examined the notary seal. Ryan's smirk faded. Just a little, Sarah continued. Regarding the duress claim, Exhibit B. She handed over the email. This is correspondence from Mr. Carter to the couple's accountant, dated 18 months after the wedding. In it, Mr. Carter explicitly references the prenup and requests tax structuring based on its terms. The trustee read it, looked up. Mr. Carter used the prenup for financial benefit after the marriage? Correct, Your Honor. Ryan's lawyer started to object. The trustee raised a hand. I'll hear you in a moment. Sarah wasn't done. Finally, Your Honor. Exhibit C. She placed the forensic report on the desk. A second copy went up on a small screen. Side-by-side columns. Left, transfers from the business account to Ryan's personal account. Right, casino and sportsbook withdrawals. Same amounts. Within 48 hours. $89,000, stolen, gambled. The trustee stared at the screen. Ryan's face went pale. No more smirk. The trustee turned to Ryan's lawyer. Counselor, do you have a response? Silence. Then a quiet, we'd like to request a continuance to review. Denied. The trustee looked directly at Ryan. Mr. Carter, did you misrepresent the existence of a prenuptial agreement to this court? Ryan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. The trustee didn't wait. The claim against Ms. Carter is dismissed. Her counterclaim is granted in full. $89,000 plus documented legal fees. She paused. I'm also referring this matter to the U.S. Attorney's Office for possible bankruptcy fraud. The gavel came down. Ryan stared at the table. The smirk was gone. And I felt nothing but relief. Ryan's bankruptcy case collapsed within a week. Without the claim against me, his creditors went after him directly. He lost the condo, the car. His consulting contracts dried up when word spread. The U.S. Attorney's Office reviewed the case. No criminal charges were filed. But the threat hung over him for months. I recovered the $89,000. Plus $22,000 in legal fees and interest. I used it to buy out Ryan's remaining phantom equity in the business. Dissolved the partnership. Clean break. 8 months later, I sold the consultancy to a mid-sized firm. The payout was enough to pay off my mortgage. Start fresh. I didn't post about it. Didn't take a victory lap, but I did take out a restraining order, because 2 weeks after the hearing, Ryan started texting me. Late-night messages, blaming me for ruining his life. I documented every one, filed for the order. It was granted. He violated it once, showed up at my office, spent a night in county jail. After that, silence. A year later, I'm in a different place. I consult part-time, travel, take weekends off. I started teaching a financial literacy workshop for women going through divorce. How to document, how to protect yourself, how to keep receipts. There's a framed copy of the prenup in my office now. Not as a trophy, as a reminder. Documentation isn't paranoia. It's self-respect. Ryan taught me something, even if he didn't mean to. Power isn't about control. It's about boundaries. And boundaries don't need to be loud. They just need to be clear. I don't know where Ryan is now. I don't check. That chapter is closed. But I know this. I'll never apologize for protecting what I built. And I'll never stop keeping receipts. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization. It's not legal or financial advice. If you're in a situation like this, talk to a licensed attorney in your area. Now, if you've ever kept proof that saved you, or wish you had, drop that story in the comments. I read everyone. And subscribe. Every week we break down real moments when the truth had receipts. Because the best defense isn't revenge, it's documentation.